welcome back to day 6 of the boot camp, bro. If y'all made it this far, give it yourself a round of applause. Not too much though, because that's for tomorrow. So as I can tell by the title of the video, today we're gonna be taking care of why your room sounds so shit, bruh. Oh, you're not gonna answer? Alright, I see how it is. You know what? Cause you're probably a smart Alec, bruh. I'm gonna tell you guys why your room sound like trash. First of all, you probably don't got enough stuff in your room. You probably don't got enough stuff in your room, so your room probably sound like a turd. Which is why I got that picture right there. So this sound that you're hearing is reverb. A lot of you guys might call it echo, 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 echo. That's echo, which is why a lot of you guys just say echo. But what you're hearing is reverb. Okay, so I'm gonna show you guys how to fix that. Also, how to deal with noises in your room. You might, but there's only a certain amount of things you can do, which is why I'm gonna cover it today. So first, let's just start with reverb. First of all, what not to do. Don't get this trash. Don't get this, bro. At this point, if you have one of these, put it inside your bed, bro. So you might sleep better like that after knowing that you wasted money buying this thing. Okay? That's literally the only use you got afterwards. Put this in your bed as extra cushion. That way you can sleep better. Because I'm gonna tell you, these things, it costs like 30 to 40 bucks. And these aren't even the gold ones. These are trash. Garbagio. So you bought the one that's 20 bucks, 13 bucks, 10 bucks, 8 bucks. But believe you have trash, garbage. These stuff don't do nothing. Alright, so don't even think of buying this. I know Corey Kenshin got these in his little office room, with the black and white. They look pretty fire. But for other than that, bro said it himself. It's just for aesthetic purposes. So what you should be getting is these type of stuff. Installations, stuff that are already made with those kind of stuff. What is installation? It's the stuff that's in your attic, bro. Have you ever gone in there and touched it and made your hand really itchy? Yeah, that stuff. That's the stuff that you want to use. Or rock wool is basically the same stuff, basically just a little bit different. And as you can tell off rip, it says acoustic roll. I don't think rock wool says acoustic roll, but basically it's the acoustic roll. The dope part is, if you use these, they're a little bit expensive, but they're worth it. So in my opinion, go DIY and make it yourself, bro. Like, buy some of these. You can probably make at least 2 to 3 of these with them. Buy a piece of wood, plank from, I don't know, Lowe's or whatever home, the woodwork shop you got, and some fabric to cover it up. Basically, you get the wood, this type of stuff in it on top, and then you staple everything together, cover it up with the fabric. Those stuff will actually get your room sounding less reverb, and you can probably get away with 40s, actually, kinda, depending on how big your room is, but they're way better and cheaper than actually buying it from places like this, or like the bigger ones. These are like the affordable ones that are actually good. This one right here. And then, if you guys don't want to do none of that, if you're like Travis Scott, you can do his method. Buy a very thick blanket. You probably already got a really thick blanket if you live like in Antarctica or something like that. So, you know what I'm saying? Like at this point, or Iceland. Actually, no, that's Greenland. But basically, you get a thick blanket, you put it over your PC monitor, your microphone, and your head. That way you can still click on Apple Studio. If not, you might have to do like opening, closing, your Fortress or whatever. And basically, this is like the most affordable method, I feel like. It just, you should be hot and sweaty. So if you don't mind dealing with that, go ahead. But if you do, this is probably not the best method. But it's like a pretty good method for getting like less reverb. It's like your own little studio kinda. So then we move on to noise. Now for noise, to be honest, there's not really much you can buy. Actually, probably nothing, to be honest. I would just say, don't have a fan close to your microphone. If you have a fan and you still hear it on your microphone, turn that thing on. Vacuum. Do not let people vacuum while you're recording, blending, none of that, alright? And then lastly, the microphone for your PC. Don't put it on the same side as your PC, alright? Make sure it's at least a good distance from your PC, because your PC also have what? Fans. Alright, unless you have pure water cooling, then I don't know what to tell you, man. But still, there's like static, other stuff like that might interfere with like your microphone and interfaces. So that's like a good thing to do to keep your microphone away. So don't, I know it's the same side I don't, but don't put it over there. That's not meant. So things to do. There's actually nothing to do. Just don't record with these things there. So what can you do if you can't physically buy these stuff or like these physical stuff? Not because you don't want to, because you should, but because you can't. Whether, you can't drive or you don't really got that kind of bread to go make it and stuff, or you're disabled like me and can't make it. or like you're renting, or you live in a room, or like in a place where you can't put stuff on the wall and you don't want to deal with that stuff later, well, I got you. Let's start with noise this time. So for noise, you want to use a RNN. Now this, you can get it from GitHub. It's free, and to be honest, probably like one of the best noise suppression thing that I've used. To be honest, like it's like it's free. It's like the best free one, I just say. And like, all you gotta do is let your slap it on. I know like this looks intimidating and whatnot. You can get like real specific on how this thing works. But to be honest, all I do is just slap it on and that's it. I might tweak the first one a little bit, but that's it. Then you have Clarity VX Clarity VX Pro and Clarity VX. This is from the Waves bundle. If you get it, you can buy it by itself. But in my opinion, you get more worse out of the Waves bundle. Not sponsored, but you get more of what is worse, if that makes sense. So I would say, if you're a little nervous with using this for like more technical stuff, I'll be honest, you probably won't even be using this. You probably only be using this one between these two. So Clarity VX literally is another noise suppressor. It uses neural network, basically AI, but not like the creepy AI. It doesn't make your voice, like, it doesn't, like, there's some other AIs, like noise removers or suppressors that resynthesizes your voice. That's not good. This doesn't do that. None of these here that I'm showing you does that. So you don't have to worry about that. The only thing I will say though is this one right here, like these two, if you overdo it, your voice has like some artifacts because it's removing a lot of the noise that it starts to removing parts of your voice. If that makes sense. So you might not want to overdo it, but to be honest, like this is a great free one. Then you have another noise suppressor from Waves. This one doesn't use AI, so to speak, like neurally at least. It just suppresses noise, and I would say this one does a pretty decent job. Most of you guys are most likely going to be using this or this. Or this one actually. This is a free limiter. It's a noise gate. Now this is free with FL Studio when you get FL Studio. It's a stock plugin. And it's part of their free limiter. Don't touch anything else except for this right here. This little area. Now the difference between a noise gate and a noise suppressor. Think of it like this. A noise suppressor, it lowers down the noise, right? It suppresses it. It doesn't get rid of it completely. It doesn't mute it. But it lowers it down, so to speak. Now noise gate, think of it like a gate. Only certain people can go past through it. If you got like a pass or something. Same thing. A noise gate lets a certain amount of volume of audio to go through. So you can have it like somewhere like really in the middle or something like that. And the audio will only come through if you're loud enough. If you're talking really soft, it won't come through unless you lower it a little bit down. I would say lower it a little bit. That way if you're doing like soft takes, it's hear you. But at least it's getting rid of like the regular AC sound. You clicking on your mouse, or like you moving on your chair, or whatever, stuff like that. And I would say do a combination of like these two. These are like, this two right here are like the method in my opinion. Like these two right here is what I use. I rarely use this. I use it more like for voiceovers, like for videos, just because it's easy and quick. And because like these two, they don't introduce a lot of latency. I believe this one kinda does, but it's not bad in my opinion. Then for reverb, as you guys can tell, this is another from Waves. It looks kind of similar to the Clarity one, except this is D-reverb, and it's the same thing. It's using like neural network AI. I feel like for the D-reverb though, you can push it a little bit more than the Clarity without making your voice sound weird. So this one might actually be a good one to get, in my opinion. Like I use it when like for like videos, or like I'm recording on my phone and the audio doesn't sound that good. I would say it does a really good job. Now, there's another way to do it. This is a free method in FL Studio. If you click on your audio, like you recorded, if you click there, there's the audio right here. And you click Deverb, you get like a whole pop-up. It's really simple to do, which I don't feel like it's so simple I don't have to go over it to this video. Literally, you click on it, follow the steps. You can choose how much of Deverb you wanted to do, kind of like this one. And that's it, literally. And you're done. So I feel like for reverb, there isn't much you can do like virtually other than using VST. Obviously, all of these are VSTs or like effects. But I'll be honest, there's like a lot more better stuff for noise versus like reverb. Of course, there's like way more other plugins and way more ways to do it. But the reason I don't mention them here is because they're either like too much extra step, or they introduce like some sort of latency, which is not what we want for recording. So at the end of the day, I would say just embrace it, I'll tell you, my room does not sound good. Like if I were to turn off all the effects that I sound like right now, like this is what I sound like. No effects, no nothing. If I start clicking, you can hear that. And of course that's me being close. But even then, like if I boost it up and click from down here, you can hear that. You hear people talking behind me. You hear that, all that. So you see how much I can get away with like just using some effects. And plus, you gotta think about it at the end of the day. With the instrumental playing in your voice, there's already a lot of noise going on that those subtle little noise, you're not gonna really hear it. Like if you listen to freaking Michael Jackson, a professional #1 artist, even after he passed away, if you listen to his raw recording tapes, you can hear his steps that he does when he records. So that just shows proof, like, you know, you don't have to have like a really, really clean take unless you're doing like maybe voiceovers or like voice acting for like shows. Cause you know, a lot of times there's not a lot of music going on and the characters are speaking. And if you hear a little weird sound, it's gonna be weird. So with that being said, that's it. There's literally nothing else you can do. But don't be discouraged either, like what I do and a lot of professionals do anyways. Unless you're in a really good studio, then obviously I would say if you can, if you have money for that, do that. If not, these are really good ways to get around it. And like they do a really good job. So with that being said, there's no limits to what you can do. Lock in. I'll catch you guys tomorrow, day 7. You guys better be there.